obligation freely.
Just over 2 months ago, Lynn Martin took the oath of office as the nation's Secretary of Labor. The former Illinois Congresswoman now has control over key federal programs that bring assistance to hundreds of Maine workers. The focus today was on education, as the Secretary and her former colleague, Olympia Snowe, toured the Penobscot Job Corps and Eastern Maine Technical College. The Bangor campuses are essential to local job training efforts, training that Martin feels is too often ignored by American businesses.
So as Secretary of Labor, when I go to places around the country, I am preaching a single, simple message to business, to labor, to education, to everyone. Get involved. Give more money, time, and resources to education, both in the school system and in the workplace. And that's why Lynn and the Department of Labor granted to the state almost $1.3 million in job training money just several weeks ago, which is so important to helping workers who have lost their jobs.
Without the funding from the Department of Labor, programs such as Job Corps would fold, leaving even fewer options for disadvantaged youths. Among the goals of Martin's visit was to get a first-hand look at the influence of Labor Department programs. Educators in the Secretary's audience added verbal emphasis to the students' elbow grease.
We all recognize the fact that our technical colleges are where the training and the education needs to take place in order for Maine to move ahead and get back on its feet.
Local Democrats believe that Martin's visit was arranged for the benefit of Olympia Snowe's career more than anyone else's. Nevertheless, the Labor Secretary bid farewell to the state with an $800,000 grant. That money will be used to retrain dislocated shipyard workers in Maine and New Hampshire. Alan Grover, 7 Eyewitness News.
What a
7th and 8th from 1 to 5. To register, call 945-7094.
The showdown lasted more than 3 hours. When it was over, the gunman who forced police to close off Ellsworth was captured without a shot being fired.
Okay, just lay still. Just lay still.
Is WLBZ TV, Channel 2, Bangor. Live, Eloise Daniels, Dale Duff Sports, Tom Szymanski with the weather, and the News Center team. This is News Center 2.
Good evening. The 24 police officers surrounding the Hairport Hair Salon were prepared for anything. Inside was a distraught man with a rifle and his ex-girlfriend. News Center's Jill McDonald was on the scene throughout the ordeal and is here right now with the full story. Jill?
Eloise, police officers from Ellsworth, Hancock County Sheriff's Department, and the state police had their guns trained on the door of Hairport 89. They answered the call late this morning, and by 2:30 this afternoon, it was all over, without any injuries. Police closed off access to the parking lot at this shopping center on High Street. They also stopped traffic. Richard Balestrino was holding his ex-girlfriend, Brenda Kelly, inside Hairport Hair Salon. Several times he came out to talk to police. Often he held the muzzle of the rifle under his chin.
Anytime we find a person with a firearm, we consider him to be dangerous. The situation that he was involved in is a dangerous situation.
Did he threaten the police or the hostage?
I don't believe so.
Hostage negotiators from the state police and Sheriff Bill Clark talked him into letting his hostage go around 1:45, an hour and a half after he had entered the salon. There were 2 hairdressers and 2 customers in the store when the gunman entered. He came in through the front door, asked where Brenda Kelly was, and told the others to get out.
He come through the door and shot his gun and come over to where I was sitting at the desk, and Melinda was standing there too. And he told us to get out, and if we didn't, he'd shoot us.
His eyes looked angry, like mean, bad. I mean, he looked He looked crazy.
Negotiator Bill Clark was able to get Balestrino to come out of the salon and put his gun down.
We agreed with each other that we wanted to shake hands. If nothing else, we wanted to shake hands. And at that point, I think it was kind of a turning point as far as him coming out of the building, him developing some trust in us.
The gunman came out a second time to talk to his sister, and the state police tactical team moved in. Balestrino was taken to the hospital for involuntary committal. He was then transported to Bangor Mental Health Institute, where he will be held. Police have not yet charged Richard Balestrino. Ellsworth Police Chief Albert Carter says he's very pleased with the way the different departments work together to bring the situation to a peaceful conclusion.
Jill, do police have any sort of a motive yet?
The gunman never put forth any demands. He never made any threats. It appears, according to police, that he was simply distraught over losing his girlfriend and didn't know how else to handle it.
Okay, Jill, thank you. The hostage standoff began right about the same time that 2 dead bodies were discovered at a motel in Trenton. But it didn't take police long to determine the 2 were in no way related. The couple owned the motel on Route 3. They were found shot to death in their bedroom in what police believe is a murder-suicide. News Center's Tom Halleck is standing by in our newsroom now with more. Tom?
Well, Eloise, the bodies have been taken to Augusta for autopsies, but police seem pretty sure that the husband and wife did die from gunshot wounds. Detectives won't say if they found a suicide note or if they know what may have led up to the shootings, but they are calling it a murder-suicide.
Right now, at this point in time, I'm looking at a murder-suicide. Unless something really happens or something comes out of the post, then, but we're treating it, as we do all these deaths, as suspicious until such time as we're satisfied in the end, but this particular one appears to be a murder-suicide.
The victims are Walter Franzen, who was 63, and his wife Gertrude, who was 59. They ran the Open Hearth Motel in Trenton. The motel was open, but apparently no guests were staying there at the time. The 2 were discovered in their bedroom by a relative around 9 this morning. Detectives say one was in bed, the other on the floor. They found a handgun that they believe was used. State Police spokesman Steve McCausland says it appears that Franzen shot his wife and then turned the gun on himself. Eloise.
Tom, will police say anything about what might have led up to the shootings?
At this point, no. They say they really have no idea what led up to it. That's why they're trying to reach relatives now, friends, neighbors, anyone who knew the Franzens to try to figure out what was going on. One neighbor did tell me that he thought Mr. Franzen had been depressed during the past week, but he said he didn't have any idea what may have caused that. So police say they may take a few days at least to try to get in touch with everyone so they can get some clear indication what may have led up to the shootings.
Okay, thank you, Tom. A Department of Transportation worker is in fair condition in a Bangor hospital tonight after a fiery crash on Interstate 95. Stephen Everett of Augusta was part of a painting crew. Other workers were in the rest area nearby getting ready to resume work. Everett was sitting in an Arrow truck in the travel lane.
It was functional according to witnesses that went by the scene here. The tractor trailer, according to the driver, came up over the little rise and came down along the interstate and just said he just didn't see the arrow, and by the time he reacted, he slammed on his brakes, ran into the back of the Arrow truck, and then it was just like, according to the witness, it was like a ball of flame going down the interstate, ignited in flames. He got out just when the truck stopped. As far as I know about the DOT driver, he was in the vehicle. When he got struck, he got tossed around a little bit and was half in, half out of the vehicle.
Trooper Stewart says Everett appeared to have a painful back injury. The driver of the big rig suffered a cut hand and some singed hair. Stewart says he charged truck driver Robert Davis with operating after his license had been suspended. Well, it's official. Governor McKernan says he wants to increase the sales tax, income tax, or both to keep Maine's budget in line over the next 2 years. McKernan had skirted the tax issue till now, but now says new revenue is needed to keep the budget in the black. Earlier today, the latest bad news about the budget was released. The governor says Maine's budget will fall short about $77 million at the end of the year. That deficit comes despite painstaking budget revision by lawmakers. McKernan blames the continuing slide in revenue projections on what he calls the deep weakness in our economy. Federal Labor Secretary Lynn Martin says Maine is a leader in training workers for the 1990s. Martin was in Bangor this morning touring the Penobscot Job Corps Center. In a speech at Eastern Maine Technical College, the secretary said education must change to keep pace.
We are now in competition with an entire world. Our products are in competition with an entire world. We have to make sure that this great nation has the wherewithal and our young people have the chance to have the same opportunities and dreams.
Maine Congresswoman Olympia Snowe invited Secretary Martin to visit Maine. Martin also visited Portland as well. Still to come on News Center, apartments that are expensive, overcrowded, and run down. A big city problem? No. Off-campus housing in Orono. Janet Smith begins a special News Center series. Next.
Pizza Hut presents the return of the $4 pizza deal.
Okay, so we know the deal. Our first pizza is
regular price,
and up to 4 more pizzas are each.
$4.
What about a Super Supreme, a meat lovers, and a pepperoni pizza?
Regular price, $4, $4.
How about a pepperoni lovers and a cheese lovers plus pizza?
Regular price, $4.
5 Supreme.
Regular price, $4, $4, $4, $4.
The $4 pizza deal back for a limited time only. First pizza regular price, then as many as 4 more, just $4 each.
Okay, what about 2 Supremes, a meat lovers, your phone number, and a pepperoni lover?
Regular price, $4, $4. Not for $1 million, $4.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
I was a kid then, but when I go back there now, I still remember my father looking across those mountains. We were coming out of some tough times, and he'd say, "See how the mountains go up and down? Things are like that sometimes, but they always come back up again, like that next peak." Seems he's right again.
Nutrisystem. When someone believes in you, anything seems possible.
We go more places, we're more active, enjoy life better.
And more guys are looking at her lately. I don't like that.
I have more confidence and I'm outgoing and I'm energetic and it's just changed my whole life.
Now that you're ready, there's a right way to lose weight. Nutrisystem.
Introductory offer, 3-day sale, ends Wednesday, only $49. Call Nutrisystem today.
Saturday, another class from the University of Maine will graduate, but many students will return in the fall. Some will live on campus, but twice as many will look for apartments off campus. Now, this off-campus living has created all sorts of problems for students, landlords, the university, and the town of Orono. Tonight, News Center's Janet Smith begins a 4-part series which examines off-campus living and some of its problems. Janet?
Well, Eloise, nearly 13,000 students attend the University of Maine, but only 3,900 of them live on campus. The other 9,000 students live off campus, many in Orono, and that number is on the rise. So are the rents. This and other factors can make for abuse of landlord-tenant relationships. Labor Day. The UMaine campus is abuzz with students moving into their dorms, readying themselves for the semester which starts the next day. But a large number of students cringe at the thought of living on campus and are feverishly looking for a place to live off campus. So why do so many students choose to live off campus? Dorm living provides a roof over your head, someone to cook your meals, a place to do your laundry, and someone else to clean the bathroom. So what's so bad about that? Plenty, say many students.
Because I hate the meals at the dining cafeteria.
I wanted more freedom to be more independent than they're really strict in the residence halls.
I wanted more responsibility to learn to live on my own, and there's a lot more freedom, so it's more fun.
Doing what you want to do when you want to do it and having a little bit more privacy when you do.
They try to police you too much in the dorms. They're just coming in, going out, you know, all sorts of things. They just police you on doing everything.
So can you do anything here?
Basically, yeah, you know, within reason.
This dissatisfaction with on-campus living and the need for greater independence pushes many students off campus. But like the students living on campus who arrive just a few days before school starts, so do the off-campus students. So when it comes to looking for an apartment, many students take what they can get, regardless of what it looks like. Some students find nice apartments, but many look for apartments where anything goes.
That was great. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a really nice place to throw parties and stuff like that and just, you know, have friends over all the time. And it was big, it had a lot of bedrooms, and it was cheap.
price. That's a big draw. Students say on-campus living is more expensive. It costs about $565 a month to live and eat on campus. Off-campus rents vary depending which utilities are included, but it runs between $300 and $700 a month. But split 5, 6, sometimes 7 ways.
How could you beat $75 a month for rent? So we just jammed 6 people in there.
Many of the students who choose to live on their own in an apartment are doing so for the first time and are inexperienced when it comes to what's expected of them and what they should expect from their landlord. That can cause problems, and is.
They find an apartment, they like the apartment, they find roommates that they like, they're happy with the situation. The landlord hands them a contract, a lease, and says, it's just a typical lease. It's a standard lease. That's the term that they use. This is a standard lease. And a lot of students, having no previous experience with these things, just sign the dotted line. And it never occurs to them that something could go wrong later on.
A simple piece of advice: read the lease and ask questions about it before you sign.
Well, Janet, just how bad are some of these places?
Well, Eloise, some of these apartments that we were invited in to see are deplorable. Tomorrow we'll show you some of those apartments and find out why students live there, and we'll also find out whose responsibility it is for the lousy conditions, the landlords or the students. We'll tell you all about it tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Janet. Well, in sports, big weekend for Maine baseball and a successful one as well.
Very successful indeed. We bring you the latest on Trish Roberts and Maine baseball when we return right after this.
This is Pontiac Green Light Excitement Time. Time to move, because your Pontiac dealer has been given the go on deals like these. $1,000 cash back on new 91 Grand Amps, plus $500 in option package savings equals a $1,500 value, plus an additional $500 for qualified first-time new car buyers. Total maximum value $2,000 on a new Grand Am with air, cruise, tilt wheel, and more. Go for the green now. For Pontiac value and excitement, see your Maine Pontiac dealers.
Imagine the trauma of an automobile accident. Now imagine having to wait 5 to 6 years to collect all your benefits. Maine needs no fault. Maine needs no fault now.
It was their fault.
He was driving.
She swerved.
Maybe it was my fault.
No matter whose fault it was, life has to go on. With no-fault insurance, we could all get on with our lives sooner. Maine needs no fault. Maine needs no fault now.
Come to think of it, why would I go anyplace else?
PBS. When you put it all together, there's no reason to go anyplace else.
You make me laugh, you make me cry, you make me feel like you and I are somehow joined in life's sweet song. You make me feel like I belong.
With all the cards you'll find at Welby Superdrug, you can share your joy, your laughter, your love, and all the excitement of any holiday, just because you care.
You make me feel.
Trish Roberts is still awaiting a decision from the Long Beach State in California. Will that school choose her or current Long Beach assistant coach Glenn McDonald? I'm told the search committee has met once today and will meet again later today. Remember the 3-hour time difference out there. Now, I'm told that the search committee will again have kind of a tough decision whether to hire one or the other. I can report to you that the third finalist for the job, Colleen Matsuhara, Long Beach assistant coach, has been named the new head coach at California Irvine, so she is out of the running. It is definitely between Roberts and McDonald. We tried to reach Roberts for a comment on the Long Beach situation. She continues to remain unavailable for comment. John Winkin and his Maine baseball team remain the number 15 team in the country, according to this week's College Baseball ESPN poll. The Bears are also the North Atlantic Conference champions after taking 2 of 3 this weekend from Northeastern. From the first run of the weekend, to that last out. This was a heck of a championship series. A nail-biting, in-your-face series.
That was a real good game for a great crowd to see. It was perfect ending for a championship, wasn't it?
Yeah, especially if you're a Maine fan. As for the Huskies, their mission to unseat Maine as king of the hill proved mission impossible. But
they always come pumped and ready to play us. It was a great weekend.
Maine had the timely hitting, but the Bears also showed that its big three on the hill, Thomas, Burlingame, and DeAndre, can provide a lot of depth heading into postseason.
Every one of us gives everything they have. I think that's why we're so good. We don't like to lose.
One step on the climb back to Omaha is over. Next step, the ECACs. Here's how the ECAC tournament will look when it begins, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. Maine is the #1 seed. The Bears will meet either Monmouth or Mount St. Mary's. Those two teams will determine a conference champion this weekend. Fordham is seeded #2 and will meet CW Post. Remember, Fordham won the ECAC tournament last year. Also, Northeastern at #3. The Huskies will face Fairfield in the opening round. And also, Lemoyne at #4 meets #5, Holy Cross. Maine does have a little piece of regular season business left, though, because Jack Leggett, the former Maine player, brings his Western Carolina team to Orono for a weekend series beginning Friday night. And the Husson Braves baseball team has been seeded #2 in the NAIA playoffs. That tournament begins Thursday down in southern Maine. The Braves will meet UMaine Farmington in the first game. Now to the high school scene, softball, Old Town against Brewer. Old Town's Lori Cummings grounds into a double play. Becky Blue scores 2-1 Old Town before the rains came. And on the baseball scene, Brewer already leading 5-1. Billy Swift hits this shot off the pitcher's glove. Dave Gregory and Rob Beaton scores. It was 9-1 at last report. Did they get those games in before the rain? We'll let you know at 11 o'clock tonight. And the 10th annual Terry Fox race brought out 565 runners and walkers. This springtime event remains very popular, as does the spirit of the late Terry Fox.
Yes.
Folks take part in this race to help raise money for cancer research and to remember the Canadian runner Terry Fox, who tried to run across Canada while battling cancer years ago. Now, the winner in this race yesterday, this guy, Jim Garster, a grad student from Maine. His time was 15:48. That was Melissa Lockman from John Baptist High. 18:19 was her time. 565 runners on a beautiful day yesterday. Celtics win. The Bruins lost last night, and that's the playoff scene. Both of those teams take the night off, as do the Red Sox.
Okay, Dan, thank you. Well, it's time to pay for our gorgeous weekend. Get out your umbrellas, right?
Well, I guess if most people had their choice, they'd rather see it rain on Monday than on Saturday or Sunday.
That's very true.
So we have a wet Monday. We'll talk about a wet Tuesday as well next.
There's a country way of living,
and it shows that you care more.
Country care is what we're given.
Come on to the country store.
During National Pet Week, pick up a 25-pound bag of Big Red Nuggets on sale for $6.99. Little Red Original Cat Dinner is only $10.99.
Big Red and Little Red at the country store for pets.
Only at Agway.
Boyd & Noyes has the perfect way to celebrate spring. A store-wide sale, just in time for Mother's Day. Boyd & Noyes has reduced every item of merchandise 25 to 50%. Tremendous savings on diamonds and diamond jewelry, elegant gold chains, pendants, and earrings in stones such as sapphire and ruby. Save 25 to 50% on pearls, watches, and giftware. Put a sparkle in your mother's eye this Mother's Day with beautiful jewelry from Boyd & Noyes, downtown Bangor.
If you're trying to decide how to paint your house, just ask a professional painter how he might paint his house. With Sherwin-Williams, there's only one paint that's good, and there's only one place you can get it. The pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
In the forecast, we're getting ready for some heavy rain tonight. Is this going to be enough to cause problems in low-lying areas, do you think?
Yeah, I think in some scattered low-lying areas. Not everybody who lives in low-lying areas will get the heavy rain, but it's a situation that does deserve watching, and throughout the night I'll be keeping you posted, so keep it right here, and we'll update at 11. Let's see what's going on right now. Nothing really heavy yet. We do have light to, at times, moderate rain, and 54 degrees, 12 degrees Celsius. Right now, the dew point is at 44 and rising, giving us a humidity at 71%. The winds right now are out of the south at 7, gusting to 24 miles per hour. Right now, the barometer is falling from 30.10. And on the almanac today, 63 before the clouds rolled in. That was a high. The low was 40. Normals are 61 and 38. Record high 81 in 1960. Record low 30 degrees in 1974. And that precipitation total should now read 0.04 inches. And we're increasing as I speak. Okay, we're going to start with a satellite picture here. All the white clouds indicate some heavy rains in some areas, particularly south and west of Maine. Let's set it into motion and see what's happening. Now, early in the morning, you'll notice most of northeastern, down east, and east central Maine was under clear to partly cloudy skies. But the clouds are moving just like this at around 37.2 miles per hour. The heaviest rains right now are in parts of New York State and into southern Vermont and New Hampshire, and also into Massachusetts, moving northeast at around 35 to 40 miles per hour. It looks like most of southern and western Maine will initially get the potential for some heavy rain, but later on, most of the state, with maybe the exception of the far north, will see maybe up to a half to 1.5 inches of rain with localized amounts in southern Maine, possibly exceeding 2 inches if a heavier thunder shower does pass through. Further out to the west, a big storm system, maybe some snow in parts of Wisconsin and upper Michigan tomorrow, so that's some good news for them. Of course, the cold air will move northeast, so we won't get quite the cold enough air for it to snow here. Let's take a look at the radar, and you'll notice some big thunderstorms extending from western New York State all the way down into the western panhandle of Virginia and also into the Delmarva area. Now, there are numerous severe thunderstorm and tornado watches in effect for areas generally south of central Pennsylvania and as far south as Washington, D.C. Most of the green here indicates where lighter to moderate rains are moving to the northeast, and on the current weather map, you'll see that most of the rain is particularly across most of southern and western Maine, south and west of a line from around Bangor down to around Camden, and it's increasing in intensity as a warm front down to the south is intermixing with the atmosphere, and that's why the rains are continuing. Most of northeastern Maine right now, mainly cloudy but no rain yet. Temperature's still mild, 60 degrees right now in Holton. Sky Spy temperatures, well, Mike Roy in Winslow said it was pouring rain at 48 degrees. Down in Camden, Frank Feely had 0.03 inches of rain and a temperature of 44 degrees. Further up north in Millinocket, Chris Quam 57, and East Machias, Pat Cody had 46 after a high of 56, and in East Holden, C.J. Bidwell, a quote, wonderfully cloudy and 50 degrees, and in Brooksville, Dream McConnell had 52 degrees and light rain. Here's that marine forecast for tonight. Small craft advisory in effect. The winds tonight are going to be out of the southeast, gusting at times in excess of 30 knots, and for tomorrow, we're expecting the winds to be about the same, but turning to the west-southwest at around 15 to 30 knots. Look for the waves tonight to be anywhere between 4 and 8 feet, and for tomorrow, 3 to 5 feet. And visibilities 1 mile or less tonight, 1 to 3 miles for tomorrow. And on the tides, here they are. Low tide at 11:28, high tide at 5:05, sunrise tomorrow at 5:16. The town of the day tonight, Rockport. For tomorrow, morning rain, maybe we'll squeeze in some afternoon sunshine with a high near 60. I'll be back in a minute with a forecast, so stay with us.
The following is a power line safety alert from Central Maine Power.
Electricity always goes to ground. That's why around power lines, you should never launch a sailboat with a mast in the upright position, even a wooden one. If it strikes a power line, deadly electricity surging through the ground could shoot through your body, and this could be fatal. And never try to sail under a power line either. Remember, no matter how harmless it looks, no line is safe to touch, ever.
On tomorrow's forecast map, a storm system developing in the Texas Panhandle. Showers and thunder showers here. Temperatures in the 70s, but closer to home, a pair of low-pressure systems moving through. Maybe some showers in the morning, maybe some afternoon sun. And if we zoom in a little bit closer, you'll notice the occluded front moving through the Maritimes. Mostly cloudy skies, except maybe some sun in southwestern Maine, and even an afternoon thunder shower is a possibility. Here's a forecast for tonight. We're looking at cloudy skies with rain, drizzle, and fog. Maybe some isolated heavy thunder showers, a low near 44, and where those thunder showers occur, there could be in excess of 1 inch of rain. For tomorrow, looks like more of the same in the morning. Maybe some redevelopment in the afternoon with a high near 62. And we go ahead into Wednesday. In southern Maine, partly cloudy. Up north, maybe some sprinkles with a high near 60. Here's the outlook as we go further ahead into Monday, or rather into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm all mixed up here. Partly sunny to sunny with high temperatures increasing inland to around 70 on Saturday. However, cooler near the coast with a sea breeze.
Okay, that sounds pretty good, Tom.
Sure.
Thank you. And coming up next, the marriage of photography and computers. And the happy couple will live in Camden. The story next.
McDonald's new McLean Deluxe is 91% fat-free and 100% delicious. And starting Wednesday, you'll get a free large order of our cholesterol-free French fries just to try one.
A real price right up front. It's catching on. I like doing it. People love it. It's the simplest thing that Darlings has ever done. In fact, it's the best thing we've ever done. Putting a good low price on the sticker of every car in the lot, where everybody can see it day or night. As far as I'm concerned, we're finally doing what makes the most sense, making it easy for our customers.
Darlings Ford VW Audi, the difference is real.
Surrey Gardens is alive with new growth. Surround yourself with fresh blooming plants. The Lath House offers a wide spectrum of shade perennials, and the nursery at Surrey Gardens is stocked with an abundance of shrubs and trees to beautify your landscape. In our 6 greenhouses, you'll find Down East Maine's most complete selection of bedding plants, vegetables and herbs. Bring your outdoor environment to life with our complete design and landscape construction services. Surrey Gardens in the village of Surrey.
Artists from around the world were in Camden this weekend for the opening of a unique new center. Kodak has opened its Center for Creative Imaging. The center will be a training ground for artists to learn more about electronic imaging, the combination of photography and computers.
And electronic imagery is going to be emerging technology to go with still and motion photography and enhance it and make it more valuable and more useful to the world. So why not put the electronic capability close to a facility that is teaching in the still and motion area?
Oh, it's really nice. It's nice what they've done to the building that was here and the fact that they're going to have employment for local people as well as bring something very different to Camden.
Also includes a gallery where the works of famous photographers will be shown. Up to 30 people will be hired. Town officials hope the center will lure other new developments to some of the old mills and foundries in Camden. That's News Center Up to the Minute. Join us at 11. Good night for now.
President Bush back on the job, his heartbeat under control, but lingering concerns about Vice President Quayle's qualifications.
A number of things.
This is NBC Nightly News.